Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Chilltown Hoops. I'm Jermaine. The youngsters call me OG. My friends call me J-Dub. What's happening? We got Summer League going on tonight. We don't got a whole lot going on tonight. Cash Money, what up? We don't got a whole lot. Excuse me. We don't have a whole lot going on tonight. But we got Summer League going on. So let me get back to that. Yeah.
All right, I was going to say, Mike, so you're the coach here, so give us the keys to the game here for the next matchup.
What's up? What's up, A? Running good tonight, brother. Running good. Cam Lee, what's up, brother? Running good.
Some NASCAR races out there, playing cornhole out there in the crowd. So I'm looking forward to that matchup. But like I said, it's my rookie season.
Who is this? The Rockets and the Cavs we got working here tonight. So I seen some. I watched a little bit of Summer League. I watched Toronto and the Knicks. That wasn't bad. That was pretty good. Cam, what's up, brother? You good? LB, I'm listening. You got a question? Who's the best coach in the NBA right now? What's a bunch of good coaches in the NBA right now? I'm a big fan of Nick Nurse, man. I dig what he does. Him, but the one guy that I could say, in my opinion, that's the best coach, Eric Spoelstra. Spo is he's a master at what he does, man. Hey Rose, how you doing? You doing all right? Cleveland and Houston is on ESPN 2. No problem, Cam. Matt, what up, brother? Jake, what's up, brother? Running good tonight, my man. No doubt. I love Green with John Wall. I dig seeing the Summer League guys, and the reason why I dig it is because you're gonna find a gem in one of these guys. You're gonna find a gem. These are some of the better guys that get overlooked. What did I have for lunch today? I have a rice dish, Eric. I have a rice dish that I make. I make some brown rice with some green beans, with onions, green peppers, potatoes, and spinach in it with black beans. So, what you doing here? Stumbled into this recently, but you're doing the service people who need the education and the way to receive it. It's not an easy thing to do. Absolutely, John, and I appreciate that, brother. That's the reason why I do it, is because somebody schooled me to the game. So I'm passing that information along to people who don't know. That's why I do it. I don't think Kawhi is the best on-ball defender of all times. No, I don't think that. I think that there are a number of different guys who are better on-ball. I think Dennis Rodman is a better on-ball defender than Kawhi Leonard. I think Gary Payton is arguably a better on-ball defender than Kawhi Leonard. I think Scottie Pippen is a better on-ball defender than Gary Payton. I think Michael Jordan is a better on-ball defender than Kawhi Leonard. So Drew might be the best defensive player to never win Defensive Player of the Year. Maybe. Him, LeBron, Kobe. Kobe is absolutely at the top of that list of guys who were great defenders, never to win Defensive Player of the Year. Jabbar's a 15-time All-League defender. I'm sorry, Jabbar's an 11-time All-League defender. Never won lead. When he retired, he was the all-time shot block leader. Never won Defensive Player of the Year. Not one time. When I first started becoming vegan, Charles, it was tough. Yes, I'd be lying to you if I said it wasn't, but it was tough. Kendrick, San Diego in the house. I love San Diego. Been to San Diego a number of different times. San Diego is awesome. Tim Duncan too, Mag, another guy who's a great defender who never won Defensive Player of the Year, and arguably will go down as one of the 5 to 8 best defenders of all time. So yeah, absolutely. AJ, I'm running good, brother. How you doing? Cash Money. I think Drew, to be honest with you, and I get a lot of heat and I get a lot of pushback from this. I think Drew Holiday is the best perimeter defender in the game today. I do. I absolutely feel like that. I think he's the best on ball, not just on ball. I think he's the best perimeter defender in the game. That includes when Kawhi Leonard is healthy. I do believe that. And I love Kawhi Leonard as a defender. Kawhi Leonard looks to me like a guy who, unapologetic, what's up, brother? Running good. Kawhi Leonard looks to me like the kind of guy who, if I was playing against him, I got to be very careful with the shots that I get. I have to be as efficient because I'm not going to get a lot of shots against him. Specifically, not a lot of good shots. So, absolutely. I did watch Scotty Barnes, and he looked good. He actually looked good. All's my life is in the house. What's happening, brother? Thanks, AJ. I appreciate you. What do I rank Wilt Chamberlain all the time? Chamberlain is number 4 for me. He's behind James, Jordan, and Jabbar. Well, what's up, Juka? Well, the issue that I have with people who talk about James and who, they talk about excuses. Like, I make excuses for him. Well, everything ain't your fault. And that doesn't mean that James can't be held accountable. Absolutely, he can be held accountable. I hold him accountable to things. The fact that, James is the all-time turnovers leader in NBA history. Nobody has turned the ball over more than he has. That's just being careless with the basketball when you're just turning the ball over. And that's something that I'm pretty sure that there were games where his turnovers cost his team games. And that's inexcusable. Because as a primary ball handler, the most important thing for you as the primary ball handler is to take care of the basketball. And if you can't do that, you're killing us. If you can't do that, and if you don't do that, you're killing us. So I hold him accountable. Absolutely. But what I can appreciate is I can't appreciate the everything is his fault or that he can't win no matter what. I don't appreciate that because everything isn't his fault. And he doesn't get a pass on everything. And that bothers me. Oh, it absolutely does. Josh, what's the crack? Kendrick Perkins. My buddy just sent me a video of Kendrick Perkins. I actually like Kendrick Perkins on TV. He doesn't suck, yo. He doesn't. I like Kendrick on TV. And Kendrick was a dirty work guy. That's who he was. Kendrick he's not a great ball player, but he was a dirty work guy. No doubt about it. I'm interested to see how Cade Cunningham turns out. I am interested to see how he turns out because he looks like he's going to be a special player. He does look like that. He looks like he's going to be somebody that is going to be around and that's going to be relevant in the game for a long time. The thing that stands out to me the most is his potential because of the athlete that I see he is, his potential to be an elite defender. That's a big deal to me. That's a huge deal to me. So him, Jalen Green, when you're a great athlete, in my opinion, when you're a superior athlete, there's no reason why you shouldn't be a great defender. None. Because that's just a matter of sticking your nose in there and going to get the basketball, getting down into a stance and getting your hands moving and getting your feet busy. And when you're a great athlete like Jalen Green is, when you're a great athlete like Jason Tatum or Kawhi Leonard, these guys, I hold them to that standard because of the athletes that they are. And you should be able to play on both sides of the basketball at an elite level when you're an athlete like that. Because there are some guys who aren't superior athletes and they are just specialists. So they're just good. The UK, London is in the house. What's up? Absolutely. Well, Balls, I got to tell you that there's going to be there's going to be an initiation. There's going to be a transition period with this guy, Jalen Green. He just got into the game. So even though he did play in the D League last year, guys who play in the minors, they don't come right up. Very rarely do they come right up from the minor league and they just tearing it up. So I don't know if the 2012 Heat could beat the 95-96 Bulls. I think the 2012-2013 Heat that won 27 games in a row, I think they'd get a Bulls a run for their money. Absolutely. Yes, Rose, I do watch football. I'm a 49er fan. Excuse me, I like what we did with this. I like what we did with Trey Lance. So the idea that Jimmy Garoppolo might not hold up, we got insurance, and we may even have our future quarterback. I don't know. I'd like for us to show up our running game because, I like the fact that Mozart, I like the fact that he re-signed. I do like that. So our wide receiver core, we got work to do, but we getting our defense back too, man. That's a big deal for me. Eric, you got Kobe at 13. I ain't got him that low. I got him right outside the top 10. Right outside the top 10. Nate, KD's rings are not fake. Those things are real. No doubt about it. Edward, it is coming. I promise you that I'm working on it. I am, man. I am working on it. Tony Parker, Dennis Johnson, great men in basketball IQ are overlooked today because of the teams they were on. Well, who are they overlooked by? Because they're not overlooked by me. I know who Tony Parker is. I know Tony Parker is that guy who for I think three times in 5 years he led the NBA in points in the paint at the point guard spot. That includes bigs. That includes bigs. Tony Parker led the NBA in points in the paint. So that's a big deal for a lead guard. A huge deal. Yeah, just the placement I disagree with, Eric. Because I got Kobe at 11. I got him right outside my top 10. So, well, Mason, I don't know if Chris Webber is underrated because let me ask you this question, and maybe you can clarify this for me. Chris Webber came into the league in 1993, right? So who was in the league when Webb showed up? Malone was in the league. Barkley was in the league. Garnett came in 95. Duncan came in 97. Dirk came in 99. So that's 5 guys right there. Was he better than any of those guys? I'm asking you, Mace. You tell me, was he better than any of those guys? Because they was in the game when he showed up. Okay, so he wasn't better than none of them. Okay, so with that being said, now we got another tier of guys. So we got Kevin McHale. We got Elvin Hayes. We got Chris Bosh. Power forwards. Was he better than any of those guys? Okay, so Bosh was kind of whack. Bosh was kind of weak in your opinion. Okay. So he might go ahead of Bosh. Okay. I can't put Webb ahead of, even though Webb, I think he went 20-10-4 for his career. I cannot put him ahead of Kevin McHale. I can't do it. I think he was better than Sheed. I do. I think he was better than Sheed. To be honest with you, I'm going to get your name right too. Aduyawa. I think I said that right. Aduyawa. asked me what do I think of the flopping rule. I think it's great how they revamping these rules for the defense. I think it's awesome because let's get that stuff out of here. Just jumping into the defender and man, get that out of here. I think that's great. Absolutely. Mm-hmm. My favorite finals series. Now, Josh, let me ask you a question, Josh. Is it the NBA finals? Is it the conference finals? Because the NBA finals, I thought that 13 finals with the Spurs and in the Heat was epic. The 87 finals with Bird and Magic, I was glued to the TV. I wasn't really glued to the TV with none of the Bulls matchups. And the reason why is because, number one, with the exception of 98, I always felt like the Bulls were going to win. I never really felt like they were going to lose. The only time that I thought that they were going to win was in 98. The only time I thought they were going to lose, I'm sorry, was in 98. A Dewia. What did I say? Did I say I said a Dewia? No, it's a Dewia. I got you. My fault, my man. I said a Dewia. It's a Dewia. All right, my fault. So yeah, I never really felt like they were going to lose. I always felt like they were at some point they were going to win, except for the 98 series. I thought Utah was going to win that. So, yeah, man, Benji Wilson, that was a tough one because he looked like he was on his way to being something serious. He did. He looked like he was on his way to being something special. And the fact that he got cut down, how he got cut down, that was really unfortunate because he had the potential to be he looked like he was going to be a great college player and maybe even a better pro. Magugala? Did I say that right or no? Elite, somebody, he was in high school and he was the number, if you can imagine, before the season started, he was the number one player in the country, and somebody ended up shooting and killing him. He had gotten into it with his girlfriend and they were walking down the street. He ended up bumping into this guy. Him and this guy ended up getting into it, and the next thing you know, the guy pulls out a piece, and the guy said he felt threatened, and he ended up shooting him. And it was really unfortunate because it was unnecessary. You can argue that KD got a better mid range than Jordan, but I think Jordan's got a better mid range. So, Zay, I think LeBron would have been just fine in the 90s. Yes, I do. I do believe that. That's an interesting question, Josh, because the game was different. I mean, which LeBron James are we putting in the 1984 draft? Are we putting the LeBron James who never saw Jordan play? Because this is the guy who he modeled his game after Magic Johnson and Michael Jordan. So, which LeBron James are we putting in the 84 draft? And are we putting that Jordan? Are we making Jordan model his game after LeBron now? I don't think Tony Parker is a top 6 guard, but you can make the argument that he's a top 10 guard. You can definitely make that argument. Tony's a 6-time All-Star, won the Finals MVP. He wasn't a defender. No, that wasn't Tony, but he was better than most. And we talking about Tony making an All-Star team with Billups and Marbury and Steve Francis and Steve Nash, Darren Williams and Chris Paul. And when these guys were in the league, he was a perennial All-Star. And Pop was yanking them in and out of the lineup, and he still was doing Jason Kidd and guys like that, Chauncey Billups. Rondo was in the league. So I don't know if I'd go that far that Sam Cassell got a better mid-range game than Carmelo Anthony. No. Mm-mm. Slovenian European champion was 16 games. Hold on, let me make sure I read that right. Slovenian European basketball champion. Won 16 games in a row, reached the semifinals at the Olympics, okay, and have only 2 players in the NBA. What are no NBA scouts in Europe? How do you explain that? Oh, NBA scouts are all over Europe. They absolutely are, and they can't be everywhere, but they are in Europe. And it sounds like they need to be in Slovenia a little more than they are. That's what it sounds to me like. If Kobe came in the 90s, and Jordan came in the 2000s, would the narrative be flipped? Well, that's a bad comparison, my man, because Kobe modeled his game after Jordan. So your logic would be that Jordan would have modeled his game after Kobe, even though Kobe did come in the 90s. I mean, he came in the mid-90s. He came in 96. So it wasn't like he came in 99. So, and Kobe had been watching Jordan ever since he was a kid. That's what he modeled his game after. Charles, the team that I'm most excited to watch this season more than any team is the Warriors. I want to see how Clay comes back. I want to see, 1, if he can hold up, 2, if he can still play at a high level. Because if he can, it's going to be great for the NBA. I think it's going to be great for the NBA. I did see Scotty Barnes today, and he looked really good. And this is the question that I have with that unit, man, because what's the plan with OG? Because Scotty Barnes is going to have to, from what I've seen today, he's going to have to play. Yeah, you're gonna slowly bring him in, and I can appreciate that, but he's gonna have to play at some point. Yeah, Dane, Belgium in the house. Okay, nice. There is no worse NBA champion ever. Nah, Mason, there is none of that. I think all the NBA champions are great. All of them. The 96 Bulls, in my opinion, were better than the 17 Warriors. So, Acid, I love what the Bucks are doing. I love that the problem that we're having is with small market teams, the Bucks, Cleveland, when they won the NBA championship, the Bucks. When you have small market teams, things get expensive, and they get expensive fast, man. So it's hard to sustain that. So I don't know how long that group's going to be together. I played the 2 guard, Edward. What do you think about Brad Stevens saying he's going to wait until 22 free agency to put the Celtics back in the finals? Did he really say that? What? Man, that's incredible to even say something like that. I'm sorry. Dennis Saunders. I expect to see the same thing I saw from Luka last season. I expect to see buckets. I expect to see a better playmaker. Him playing in the Olympics was a big deal for him. Him playing in the Olympics and being able to be with that Slovenian team and play against the best in the world and be able to facilitate and use his teammates more. I expect to see a more mature Luka this season. I expect to see a better version of Luka on the defensive side of the basketball. So, because I think Jason Kidd's going to demand that out of him. So I expect to see a different Luka this season. I expect to see a better Luka this season. I don't. And the reason why I don't play fantasy football or basketball because I don't know much about it, and I never thought to. I never thought to get involved in it, and that's not a knock against fantasy football and basketball. I just don't know much about it, so I never really got involved in it. Josh, my favorite duo ever in the league was Stockton and Malone. Even though I loved Kobe and Shaq, Stockton and Malone was my favorite. Absolutely. I loved how they played the game, how Malone knew exactly what his role was. Get the ball to the point guard, I'm in the lane and I'm running. And when we get in the half court, the point guard is like, that's where I'm going. Big fella, come get it. He knew what it was. So yeah, Zay, I've heard that too, that Bill Russell's competition was trash. And I don't necessarily agree with that. And the reason why I don't agree with it, because when the notion, the notion that there were only 8 teams playing in the league during that time. Well, I got to play against the tougher competition even more when there's less teams, as opposed to when there's 30 teams. The competition level gets watered down. I don't have to see Wilt Chamberlain and Nate Thurman and Willis Reed every other night. I don't have to do that. There's some nights when I can see Jared Allen, who's good, but he ain't great. There's some nights when I can see Daniel Theis. There's nights when I can see Mo Bamba. So as opposed to every other night, I got to see Chamberlain, Thurman, Willis Reed, guys like that. If Mike Tyson had beaten Buster Douglas, you think Mike Tyson would have still lost? No, I don't think that, Breezy. And the reason why I don't think that is because what Buster did was he removed that label of invincibility, because that's who Mike Tyson was. He was the guy nobody wanted to get into the ring with. They were afraid of him, not because, I don't think I can outbox him. They were afraid of getting hurt. So Buster stripped that label of invincibility off of him, that, this dude can be beat. And that's when everybody decided that, we got a shot against this guy. Because if he can beat him, that means because I'm better than him, that means I can beat him too. No, Antonio, I probably should do social media more, but I don't get involved in I do this right here. I do YouTube and I do TikTok. I feel like that's enough. Like Instagram and Facebook. No, I don't need that much. I think I'm good. Elite is asking me how I feel about the Mets. I don't like the fact that the game last night, I ain't even watched. I know we got swept by Philly today. And I watched last night where we fell apart in the 7th. We tried to get back in it in the 9th, hitting 3 straight home runs. But we fell apart in the 7th. Our middle relief is trash. Anyway, I'm sorry. Back to basketball. I have such a difficult time with this Tracy McGrady. Nate, what you ask me? What did I miss? Nate, there's a lot of people in here, man, that's talking to me. So I apologize if I miss your question. There's a lot of people in here talking to me. Let me see. Hold on for a second. You asked me something. Hold on. Steph scored 0 points. He did score 0 points. That's a fact in the overtime. I mean, he did put. Didn't he score 60 against them at one point this season? I mean, I can't hold. I can make the argument that Steph is one of the better big time players in the clutch. I mean, we're talking about a dude who was 32 a game, led the league in scoring, and he saved the Warriors a lot. Without him, the Warriors aren't even in that playoff situation. They're not even in that play-in game. Now, him not scoring any points in overtime, that's tough that's difficult to defend. However, that doesn't define Steph not being a clutch player, because Steph has made plenty of clutch shots. Plenty. So, Apple, I think that Miami's going to be right back in the middle of it, and I think that with them getting a favorable matchup in the round one, because I think if they can be I think like Atlanta, if they could be a top 4, top 5 seed, I think they can get a favorable matchup, and I think they can make some noise in the Eastern Conference and be right back in the middle of it. So, asking me what's the angriest I've been, Daniel, I'll tell you the angriest. I've been pretty angry at a lot of games. I didn't appreciate in the 2018 NBA Finals when in Game 1, James puts 51-8 on the Warriors, and they're going to win that game. And the lead official, James is coming right down Kevin Durant's coming right down the gun. He clearly runs James over. Clearly runs him over. And the lead official's got a charge, which would have put them up 2 possessions. James goes to the stripe, knocks down both free throws. Now it's a 2-possession game, but instead, it's a block on James. Oh, I was burnt over that. I didn't appreciate that at all. Mm-mm. Hassan, the Raptors got a lot of work to do, man. A lot. They got a lot of work to do. Who's rebounding the ball up in Toronto? Who's your rim protector up there? Boucher? Who's your playmaker? Van Fleet? Okay, your buckets come from Siakam. I can appreciate that. I think he went 28 a game after the All-Star break. Yeah, I can dig that. Yeah, and I'm watching Houston and Cleveland right now, as a matter of fact. Yeah, I'm watching Houston and Cleveland right now. But there's a lot of uncertainty with what's going on in Toronto. A lot of uncertainty what's going on with them. Now, I think it's going to help the fact that, they're going back to Canada. So you can't underestimate the importance of being home. And Boucher is nice. He absolutely is nice. But is he the answer in the paint for them? Because he looked like you put 2 bags of quarters on him, two 20-pound bags of quarters on him. He's still a fly away. He looks like he'd still fly away. I think Jello is somebody that they're really trying to make this happen. And we'll see. Too much sauce. What's up, brother? I think Brett Favre is a top 10 quarterback all the time. I don't think he's top 5. I think Drew Brees is better than him. If every team was healthy last year, you'll have a hard time, CeeLo. I'm sorry. C-O-I-C? Yeah, you have a hard time getting me to bet against the Lakers. The way James was playing, that Clipper team looked like they were serious. They looked like they was on their way to winning it. Before Leonard went down, they looked like they was on their way to winning it. So, what's up, Joseph? Running good, brother. Mr. Rodriguez, I'm running good, brother. How you doing? Hello, Ali. I don't know if JT's the next KD, but what I will tell you is I do think that in the next 2 to 3 years, he's going to be in the MVP conversation. I think that he's going to be a top 5 player in the next 2 to 3 years. I do think that. I do believe that. Carmelo or T-Mac all time? Carmelo Anthony, in my opinion. Carmelo was buckets. Straight buckets. Tracy McGrady was a better athlete. I won't fight that. I will not fight that. I think that Carmelo Anthony, I think he's a better one-on-one player than Tracy McGrady. That's a good question, Eric. I don't remember that. I don't remember it distinctively. I do remember him at 38 years old. That's a good one, man. I think Vince very much like, take it like Josh. Good to see you, brother. It's good to see you, my man. Until next time, I'll holler at you. I think that not Tracy McGrady. I'm sorry. I think that Vince Carter. I think he had a kind of like Shaq with Olajuwon when he played him against him in the finals, and that was 2000. What was that 2000? 38-year-old Jordan. What was that 2001? The 2001, 2002 season. I think Vince still had a lot of respect for Jordan and didn't go after him like he should have. I don't think that was more of Jordan shutting down Vince Carter more than Vince Carter going, you know what, this Air Jordan, and I don't want to show him up. So I think it's probably best that I just don't want to show the guy up. That's a good question. I don't know how had Greg Oden filled out, they wouldn't have been able to get LaMarcus Aldridge because they wouldn't have had that pick. So LaMarcus Aldridge wouldn't have been there. Just like Damian Lillard would have never showed up there because they would have been a lot better. So, no, I remember it, Eric. But what I do remember is Vince Carter being only in year 3. I mean, that's the same year that him and Iverson traded 50 jabs in the playoffs. So he could have very well went after Jordan. I think that he had a little bit like Olajuwon and Shaq. I think he had, like Shaq had for Olajuwon, I think he had a little bit too much respect for him. So I've broken some bones in my life, but I was able to recover from them. Shaman, I don't have a favorite team more than, like I said, I follow players. I do. Every season is a lifetime. Even if the team doesn't change, any personality evolves. So does the league. So every team goes through a lifetime each year. Need a genuine competitive advantage to sustain. You do. That's not your opinion. That's a fact, Josh. You have to have something that they don't have in order to be competitive. That's how the Bulls were able to do what they were doing, because they had Jordan and they had Pippen, and those guys came back better every year. The Lakers had Shaq and they had Kobe, and Kobe came back better every year. That's your competitive advantage. Now, can you imagine if Shaq came back better every year? Like if he put the work in that Kobe was putting in, he was just better than everybody else. And he decided that I ain't really got to do much. Nah, I don't have that bad of deja vu. I remember some things, but I don't have bad deja vu. Chris Webber was I think he was a better overall player than Shawn Kemp. Shawn Kemp was a better athlete than Chris Webber. But I think Webb was a better overall player than Shawn Kemp. I mean, Webb led the league in rebounding. Webb 20 and 10 for his career. Webb was a better passer than Shawn Kemp. Shawn Kemp just played above the rim. He was a better athlete than Webb. That's all that was. What do I think LeBron can do to stay longer in the NBA? I think he just continue what he's doing, and what's helping him is getting these guys that he's gotten around him. And if they could continue to do that, where he doesn't have to shoulder the load, because that's, especially at this age, that wears on a guy's career. Wears on him. That's a fact. That's a fact, John. You guys have to come back better. They have to. Otherwise, you're going to get passed up. We can't come back. Like, so for example, if you look at what Milwaukee has done, that crew can't come back the same crew next season. That's not, because they're not going to do anything if they come back, because the league is going to get better. Brooklyn's going to get better. And Brooklyn can't come back next season the same crew that they was the year before that. Phoenix can't come back the same guy. Even if they ran it back, which it looks like they've done, they can't come back the same players. These guys got to get better. Especially your young guys in particular. They have to get better. Shannon Sharp was awesome. Not only did he leave, Nate, he lost him to Miami. I mean, one of my best perimeter defenders, we can't lose him to the competition. We could lose him to Orlando. We could lose him to Charlotte. We can't lose him to Miami. No, absolutely not. That can't happen. No, I get with that. Hawks got the best young core in the league. You can argue that, man. I mean, like I said, with R.J. Hunter, with Cam, with John Collins, with Trey, Herder. I mean, that's 5 guys that, I mean, you can build around that. Now, the question is can these guys come back better? Because that's going to be the difference. That's going to be because if they come back the same guys who just had some experience, you're going to end up with the same result. You're going to end up with a 4 or 5 seed. Except you're going to run into a team that was better last year than they were this year. And you might get bounced in round 1. So Milwaukee did pick up Grayson Allen. I like that. I do like that. You think Houston has arguably as good talent as Atlanta does? Because I don't think so. I mean, I like Wood and I love Green, but if Daniel House was was in Atlanta, is he cracking that rotation that they got right now? Who is he playing in front of? I think he'd play in front of Cam Reddish. I don't know if he plays in front of R.J. Hunter, though. I don't. And he definitely doesn't play in front of John Collins. So, who has the higher ceiling? I think it's the Hawks. I definitely think it's Atlanta. No, they love Ja down there in Memphis, and they're going to take care of him. I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to stay there. Mm-hmm. I placed Moses at number 7 behind David Robinson. He was a ferocious rebounder who could score. I mean, Moses had an 8-year stretch where he went 25 and 14. Jabbar and Chamberlain, the only other 2 guys who could say that. That's it. Can't nobody else say that for that long of a stretch. 3-time league MVP, clean glass, tough as nails. He did make the All-League defensive team 3 times, though, also. But I put him behind David Robinson. I think David Robinson was more versatile than him. I think David Robinson was an overall better defender than him. I think David Robinson was a better offensive player than him also, more versatile. So I think basketball was great in the 90s. 14 boards at 26 a game is super impressive. And he did that for 8 straight years, my man. 25 and 14 for 8 straight seasons. From 79 to 87. 8 straight years, Moses went 25 and 14. What's the narrative if we got a guy running around in the NBA today that's 25 and 14 on a Tuesday? How are we talking about him? How are we discussing that guy? How are we talking about that guy? That's fair. That's absolutely fair, Eric. No doubt. Christian, what's up, brother? EB, welcome, brother. Welcome. So you give Moses the slight edge. That's fair. Hello, is Dwight Howard is Dwight Howard a Hall of Famer? Dwight Howard is a first ballot Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer. He's a first ballot. When he retires in 5 years, when his name is called, when he's up for the ballot, he's a first ballot Hall of Famer. No doubt about it. Liam, what's up, brother? No doubt. We're talking a little bit of everything, Christian. We're talking my suck-ass Mets, who was in first place at the All-Star break. Now we 2 games behind Philly. We're talking about Moses being better than David Robinson. Top 5 cornerbacks I've ever seen. Top 5 cornerbacks? Prime. Revis. Darryl Green. Richard Sherman. That's a good one. And it's a toss-up between Everson Walls and Jalen Ramsey. Top 5 on-ball defenders right now. Can they come back better? And the burden of expectation is going to be interesting to see how the Knicks handle it all. Could easily regress next year. Kemba a wild card. That's a fact. But that's the idea, though, John, because they know that for example, R.J. Barrett knows that he can't come back next season the same guy he was this season. He knows that that's not going to get it done. Julius Randle, with the performance that he had in the playoffs, he knows I can't come back this season, not just physically, but mentally the same guy that I was last season. Otherwise, we're going to be in the same spot getting bounced in round 1 again. He knows that. So when you have guys or when you have teams that have guys who specifically know that our success depends on me, they know that they have to get better. They know that. OG, can you explain the main difference between what a first, second, third ballot Hall of Famer? Well, Eric, to be honest with you, it's dumb. Because if I didn't get in the first time, my numbers didn't change the second time I was up. I still got the same numbers. Now you putting me up against a guy who maybe had better numbers than me. Well, I still got the same numbers, and I'm still going to have the same numbers the third time. So which one is it? Am I in, or why do I have to wait the second time? Why do I have to wait till the third time? Because I'm up against this guy or I'm up against that guy? Am I a Hall of Famer or not? And what is the criteria for Hall of Famer? Dan, I like this kid. I'm going to say his name. I'm going to get his name right. Okoro. I love him. And I think that you got something going with him. I think you got with that front court with him, Mobley, and Allen. Still got to figure out what you're doing in this backcourt with Sex and Garland. Still got to figure out what you're doing back there. You have to figure out what you're doing with those guys. That's not elite. Can we not talk about them goddamn? Can we not talk about the Phillies, please? The first time I heard about LeBron, Logan, what's up, brother? I think it's Drex. And I love Damian Lillard. I have been watching Damian Lillard since he first got into the league, and I actually went to go see him play a couple of times down here and even out in Portland. But Drex is, I mean, they would have been in 1990, in 1992, in 1993, they would have been right back in the middle of the Western Conference and quite possibly gone back to the finals. But Drex missed the season. Drex missed most of the season because he had knee surgery. So that was big for them. I don't know if he's garbage, Nate. It's just he's past, his best days are behind him. Well, Aloe, with RJ and Randall, I mean, that's the same idea with James Harden. You know, James Harden is very left-hand dominant. I mean, he plays with his right, and I mean, I think RJ, like I said, I think RJ is going to come back better next season. I do believe that. Just like I think Randall's going to come back better next season. But it's very difficult covering a left-hander. Very difficult. Covering left-handed guys is very difficult because they throw you off in your defensive principles altogether because everything is opposite. So instead of playing this way, I got to play, instead of forcing you this way, I got to force you this way. Instead of crowding you, which I can't do, I got to back off you. And in order to get to your shot, I got to use my right hand instead of my left hand because you're left-handed. And it's a tricky thing when you're going up against a left-hander. Really tricky. Nah, man, I bleed Mets blue, brother. I'm never getting with the Phillies. I'm never getting with the Phillies. I'm never getting with the Braves. I'm never getting with the Marlins. I'm never getting with the Yankees. I'm a Mets fan, yo. Those are my guys. No. Let's see here. That's almost Lane Ray. That's almost a birthright. Like if you left-handed, you got a milk jump shot. Your jump shot is water. I don't know what the story is when it comes to left-handers, but it's almost like a birthright. If you left-handed, you got a cash J. That's just part of being left-handed. There's no way your J is broke if you left-handed. I think that just comes with being left-handed. Is Bryce Harper? Bryce Harper is always an MVP candidate, even though he's a power hitter. He's always an MVP candidate, no doubt, no doubt at all. The first time I heard of LeBron was in his senior year. I saw him on the front cover of Sports Illustrated, and I didn't really think much of it. But going into his senior year, you know, they had almost all of their games on TV, and I started paying attention to this guy, and I was like, wow, who is this guy? And he looks like he's the real deal. So I started paying attention, and I didn't get that, he's from high school vibe. I looked at him thinking, this guy looks like he's special. I've never met a lefty who genuinely worked on their game who couldn't shoot. Never. Naturally lefties who shoot right, also true. Eye dominance plays a yeah. Well, I'm interested to see what's the plan with this guy. I'm really interested to see what the plan is with LiAngelo. I think he's going to have a great season. As long as he can stay upright, I think he's going to have a great season. March, and the knock on Ben Simmons is that he's shooting with the wrong hand. Like, he's not a lefty. He's really right-handed. Deshaun Kobe is not underrated. No, he is not. He's the second best two guard of all time. Underrated? What do you mean underrated? What I'm trying to make sense of where you going with that? Underrated. Underrated how? How should we be looking at Kobe Bryant? He's the second best all time at his position, behind the guy who was arguably the best overall player all time. Yeah. Yes, they have. I don't think Giannis is the top 5 power forward all time yet. Nah, I'm not going there. He's still got work to do. Just so y'all know, Charles Barkley is in the 20,000 point, 10,000 rebound club. So is Malone. So is Tim Duncan. So is Kevin Garnett. So that's an exclusive club to be in. Well, Christian, let me ask you this question. How can you monitor tampering? I mean, LeBron had Russell Westbrook in his house. I can't have a friend of mine in my house, and what do you think they're talking about? Because the definition of tampering is to not talk to guys about joining a team when they're under contract with another team. Now, of course, Rob Pelinka can't talk to Russell Westbrook. James can, though. So how can you monitor this, and how can you enforce it? I love Scotty Pippen, Max. You telling me that, okay, Goku is my man, and Goku is a point guard, and Goku is incredible. And this is my man, by the way. I've been playing in the league for 12 years. He's been in the league for 7, and this is my man. And, we do hang out in the summertime. You telling me I can't talk to him? And then coincidentally, or not even I ain't even going to say coincidentally, he and I end up on the same team. I'm tampering? I mean, how can you really monitor that? What is the most unbreakable NBA record of all time? Well, there's a number of them. There's a number of unbreakable records of all time. I don't think in my lifetime I'm gonna see anybody break Chamberlain's record of the all-time leading rebounder in NBA history. I don't think I'm gonna see that. I don't think I'm gonna see in my lifetime. I don't think I'm gonna see anybody break Stockton record as the all-time assist leader. The next closest guy is He got, I think think the next closest guy, he got some. Stockton got over 15,000 assists. The next closest guy, he's got like 3,000 more assists than him. LBJ is not breaking the all-time assist record. No, he is not. In order for him to move in, Mr. Stewart, in order for him to move into the top 5, and he'll probably do that in the next 2 seasons, he's got to go. I think the number is 18. I think 18 and 7, 18 and 8 over the next. What's up, Logan? How you doing, brother? If you had a chance to join ESPN or Fox, would you do it, or would you like this? Would you like the system and freedom of what you have right now? I like the system and freedom of what I have now, but I think that could be integrated into television. And I think with my style, because these guys are given a lot of leeway on TV. So it's not like it's a situation where I would have to completely switch up my entire style. No, I wouldn't have to do that. But where do I rank LeBron all time? I got him at number 1. Let me line. What up? Anthony Davis, I think he's better than Embiid. Well, Coco, let me ask you this question. Is that all it takes for Russell Westbrook to become a top 5 point guard, just winning the NBA championship? So that means he's right outside the top 5 now. And I mean, I don't know if I'll go that far with Russ. I don't think he's right outside the top 5 in point guards all time. I don't think so. Well, Lemon Line, you tell me. Now remember, before James got hurt this season, now remember last season he was 25 and 10, and he was on his way to winning the league MVP before COVID shut the season down. And then this season was the same thing. He was rolling. He was at 24 a game. I think he was 24 and 8. So Turkey is in the house. No, I've never been to Turkey, but I heard Turkey is beautiful. Now, I've never been over there, and it's a place that I wouldn't mind going to. No problem, Rich Bird. That's what I'm here for, my man. I do what I can. Henry, what's up, brother? In the league right now, there's not a star, but if you put them in the right system, they would be. Who do I think in the league right now is not a star? But if they were put in the right system, they would be. I love that kid in Houston, Wood. I love him. Absolutely. I think De'Aaron Fox, if he was put in a better system, I think he'd be. I think he'd be a star. Who else? A lot of these guys are on bad teams that I think would be stars. Never been to Sweden, but I heard Sweden's beautiful. But those are the 2 guys that I think about off the top of my head. I don't really know about Sexton, and the reason why I don't know about Sex is because, I mean, I don't know exactly what he does. Is he a point guard? And if he is, he could stand to pass more. I mean, he averaged 4 assists. Is he a shooting guard? He's kind of small to be a 2, so I don't know exactly what we're doing with Sex. So, all right, guys. It's about that time. So it was really good to see you guys tonight, and I enjoyed every minute of it. Please believe that I will be back early in the week. I will be back, and you will know about it early in the week. I will be back, and we will chop this up some more. And it's not a lot going on right now in terms of basketball. So we talk a lot about, old school basketball. So, I'll see if I can bring some more to it, but we'll definitely get it back in early in the week next week, man. This week coming up. So until next time, guys, take it light, but take it.